Yeah, where's his QR code on his shirt? I think it's great. Talk to him. All right. This is 1 million cups. It is donated by the Kaufman Foundation. They started this group in 2012. They thought, you know what, if we get all businesses together, over 1 million cups of coffee, great things are going to happen. We're going to educate, we're going to inspire, we're going to build community. That's exactly what 1MC has been doing for 13 some odd years. They put on 30,000 little presentations like this in 110 different geographies around the country. We're obviously the best. Okay. You guys are the greatest. But this is what we do. We bring somebody up for 6 minutes. They don't try to sell you. They don't try to pitch. They will. But honestly, they're really trying to tell their story and what inspired them to get started and where they are in their process and possibly where they're stuck. And that's probably the most unique thing about 1 million cups, because at the end of every presentation, we say, what can we as a community do for you? And that's like, yeah, it's the warm fuzzy, but it's really a significant part of your communication came down from on high. How they build intellectual capital, if you've seen it in the social media. Part of the way that they're really adding value is by giving presenters an opportunity to say, look, like, here's where I'm stuck. And what's great is maybe some of you in the audience have had that problem already and said, well, here are some of the things that I did. And maybe you're in the audience and you're experiencing that problem and you benefit from what somebody else has to say to the presenters. And that's it. It's a really warm and inviting vibe. For those of you who are new, we hope you come back. But if we're going to call people up, we're going to let them tell their story. We're going to see how we can help. We're going to have some coffee. We're going to hang out and network and then go about our day and enjoy the rest of our week. A couple of administrative announcements. Our coffee is sponsored. Our location is sponsored. It's a nonprofit. We don't pay for anything. They can monetize this room. They can charge people down the hall. They're having a meeting, $1,000 a day per person. I don't know, but we're here for free because they're giving us the space because they believe in what we're doing. If you want to stay and co-work, you want to take a call in one of the pods, you want to have a meeting, please stay, get a sense of how this, they got the energy level and the vibe. And if you want to get a membership here, talk to somebody at the front desk and tell them that you're part of the 1MC community, because members here get a discount. Community, whatever, attendees get a discount. I think it's 10%. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, the coffee is sponsored by Youth Free. You might have seen them if you've ever done an event at 1871 or done an event at some of the other startup ecosystem locations around the city. They were serial entrepreneurs and they decided for later in their careers to start a coffee shop out of one of the river forest park lands. Which one? You know, I think it's river forest. River forest.
It's the same difference. So
it's a forest free area, but they have a location about 10 miles west. Yeah, same as coffee.
Park, forest, river, suburb.
That's one of those Oak Park forests. Oak forests. You want the coin toss? Do you want the coin toss? Links. That's just never mind. Sports. Never mind. They don't flip coins in cricket. Can you come up and present, and can we give Deepta a standing ovation? Yes. Okay. Open PowerPoint. I'm going to give you both down full advance. So down, and aiming here is natural. Where it's up. Light for you.
Oh, place I got to get first.
Children.
Where it was best. What was the name?
Yes.
Like later,
Hello everyone. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Deepta. It's my first time here, so thanks for having me. And I'm excited to be presenting also the first today at 1MC Chicago. I'm a master's student at Northwestern. I'm graduating this June, so super excited. As you can see, I have a really huge name, but I go by Deepta. I had it here, but it fell off. That's all right. So today I'm going to be talking about my product called PeerCon. I'll start with the product here. Yeah. Okay. So I'll start with the problem instead of talking about what the product is first. The problem is when I first, no, that's for later. So the problem is when someone wants to work on anything as a student or a professional. I mean, we're here in this room. I'm probably going to connect with like at least 10 of you on LinkedIn, but then how do I know which person to reach out to for a project that I'm working on? Or if you're available, if you're actually interested in working with me, and if you have the skill set that I need, right? That's a problem that's like super prevalent everywhere. We have loads of talent. Like, look at you all, smart, beautiful people with so much talent, but I have no idea if I can work with any single one of you on any side project, including PeerCon. What if I need a software engineer or someone who has lots of finance? I mean, I can talk about it now because I have the stage, but that's the problem that I'm trying to solve with PeerCon. And usually, the easiest ways to go about is, I mean, I'm saying students, but this is for anybody. First, you reach out on LinkedIn, but then it's too broad. Like I just said, there's a lot of people, but then who are you actually willing to or will be able to work with? And then there's Slack and Discord. This is student focused. There's Slack channel, Discord channels. You post something, people get back, they forget, never comes through. I'm telling you with experience. And then friends and friends of friends, easiest way, but also hardest because you need to know the people and then they need to know the people and this compounds harder. So, yeah. And then, so because of this problem is why I built PeerCon. When I got my Northwestern admit, I was in India. And before I came here, I wanted to hit the ground running and I wanted to participate in case competitions. That. So this is the list me and a friend who also got this admit to Northwestern's MEM program made before coming here. So that we made this in like August. But we never participated in any of these because we were looking for people with finance background. Together, we had a lot of complementary skill sets, but we could never find that finance person. And it's vital to have these, and we just didn't feel confident because we have zero finance background. So that is the reason that really motivated me. And obviously, I found a lot of other reasons, not just with me, but with the entire student community after I came that just kept saying that this is a problem that exists and something that someone needs to do something to fix. So that's came PeerCon. That's my landing page. How it works. So there's, especially with AI like OpenClaw, there's a lot of chances of bots. So only with a verifiable email, so like a student email address or an institution email address, can people sign up. And then instead of just broad posts everywhere, you can filter on what skill sets you have or you're looking for. And you can like join existing projects. A project could be anything, someone participating in a hackathon, a case competition, a startup that can't go hire for people yet. So like something you can volunteer in. And this is student focused. So it could be if you're a professional working on a side project, you could get on there, not yet, but eventually you could get on there and like look for people who are willing to, like for example, today on Wednesday morning, all of us are here. What are we getting out of it? Just the exposure, right? So that's what PeerCon helps you with. So right now, PeerCon is live at Northwestern. We have 63 signups, and out of the 63, only 6 people came back again. That's a huge problem. And well, the problem is because it's a cold start problem. You need to have enough people to have quality projects. And for you to have quality projects, you need to have enough people. That's the problem I'm currently facing with PeerCon. And as wonderful as Northwestern is, somehow I haven't been able to come up with the active signups as well as intent to like push people to post for something that they're looking for. And I know people are looking for it, including Northwestern's entrepreneurship cell garage. People are always, they wait a whole month to meet again, to meet with people and tell them what they're working on and to volunteer themselves to work on someone else's idea. But PeerCon is not yet having the traction I hoped it would. That's the problem that I'm facing. So basically what I'm testing now, as you can see, it's very early stage. So I'm testing to see if the intent can be grouped or pushed to actually have a real project formation as well as conversion into a finished collaboration. So if it's a hackathon, then you're like, yeah, we formed a team here and we did well. Like, I don't care if we won, but it was a good team and I made something out of it. If it's a project, anything. And for now, it's entirely free for now, but I'm envisioning a freemium model as well as university licenses so that universities can see and verify that their students are doing stuff outside of their course grades and stuff, and that is additional stats into the student behavior for any particular university, especially, I mean, any university would benefit from this, I believe, as well as eventually recruiters who are looking for smart talent. This is the place to look. If it's students, if it's professionals, no matter who that person is, recruiters will be able to see, okay, these people are going out of their way to do something. And thus, I believe that's also a good revenue stream eventually. And yeah, so the goal is to have at least 100 active users. Active is the keyword here. And have at least 10 high quality projects. In the previous slide, I didn't talk about it, but we have only 3 projects, or we've had only 3 projects, and one of those where it wasn't just my friends. So one of those was like organically someone finding someone else, a grad student and an undergrad student, like found each other and they did something out of it. So that's the only organic project or collaboration that came out of PeerCon, but that's a success, right? Yeah, so the goal is to have at least 10 of those, and then to also test if entrepreneurship sells, like the garage I mentioned at Northwestern, as well as in other universities, if they're willing to like use PeerCon to like have their students and collaborators join and find each other. And now, I want MC ask. Well, obviously, what do you think about this? But also, if any of you have anybody you know who is working on similar problems, if you've worked on similar problems, even if it's not the same domain, if you're having these issues and you think maybe my target segment shouldn't be students, but professionals such as yourself, any feedback, any idea, any criticism, I'm
Who you call it professional?
We'll leave this on the screen. We'll put the QR code so people can check in with you, but this is great. And I already see some hands up, Mike.
Yeah, so first of all, great presentation. And I just want to double down on what you said. The fact that there's one group of people who found each other, that's awesome. Like, that's a spark, right? That's all you're trying to do at this stage is like make some sparks. I think that's great. And I think you're asking the right question there. In terms of like where to start. I noticed in kind of earlier in your presentation, you said it could be for, you know, a range of different things like startup, this, that, and the other thing. But I think you kept coming back to like these hackathons and university projects. So I'm wondering if you might be answering the question yourself a little bit, but I'm curious, like, is there a group that you just naturally have a lot of offline natural connections in that you could start with? Because I think these hackathons are kind of frequent, something that students really like to do, and you kept coming back to that. So I'm curious, is that something that you feel like you could maybe pick, like make a calendar of all of these events and just sort of, you might have to like brute force it a little bit, but use your own networks to start to, you do a little bit of the concierge kind of connecting of people, but use your platform as sort of the digital representation of that. Is that something, is that something you would feel comfortable doing? And do you feel like that would be a good initial proof point for what you're trying to do?
I love that question. And I did try. So I'm a master's student, as I mentioned, and right now at Northwestern, the master's programs are a bit siloed. But I do have a PhD. I mean, I thought about what would keep people coming to the platform, even if it's not actively looking for projects. So I added a discovery page where I'm listing all the hackathons, case competitions, and other such events that's happening live. It's a live feed that updates every night. And I mean, since I'm at Northwestern, I reached out to Northwestern Hackathon. There was only one that happened recently. Unfortunately, I didn't hear back from the team, but I like went live to the side of the hackathon. I was like, guys, we're looking for a team, find here. I registered for the hackathon, even though it was purely tech, and I'm not purely tech anymore. And I put it on the Discord channel, which is where they were doing their communication. And I had 2 signups from there, only 2. So I tried. The main traction seems to be happening in the undergrad community, and I don't seem to be able to break into that since obviously I'm a grad student and I don't know, not Gen Alpha. But that's a great point, and now we're at the end of school year and I've been doing this pretty recently. So once August hits in, I'm thinking of emailing not just not other universities and getting them to try it on so that the goal is not just to have collaboration easier within a university, but cross university as well. So
Real quick follow, is there a problem you could solve for the hackathons themselves? Like, do they have some kind of like, problem getting people to sign up because people don't know each other, and could they help promote you?
I could look into that. That's a good thought. I'll definitely look into that. Thank you.
Okay, a few more hands. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Really good, long time. So I started a daily deal site for college campuses, and I will tell you the number one key driver was to latch on to a student org, find the sororities, fraternities. Those are the best promoters in student campuses, but you have to be part of the org. It can't be an outsider coming in. You've got to find really key influencers there to do that. That was the best way to grow. I think the second thing is you have to think about riches and niches, right? Like picking to what Mike was saying is like picking one niche. Is it hackathons? Is it like entrepreneurs? A really good club that we worked with was the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization, more of an undergrad organization, CEO, but they're on most campuses now. And it's students that want to build businesses or are business owners and have interest in, or have interest in being in entrepreneurship. And most of the entrepreneur programs have that. So that might be a place that you could start.
That's great. Thank you. Sorry, what did you say your product was called again?
Or what, but
Your business.
What you started.
oh, we called it, so we sold it to universities. It was called we did it for the college, University of Nebraska was Daily Mab, and each university branded it by their own mascot. So we had Daily Trojans, we had Daily, well, that there were some, yeah.
Okay.
There were some questionable names, but yeah, but it was great because we like on one campus we got 50,000 subscribers like across the university community, and we did probably 5 figures. We did like 5 figures a day on these sites, but it was because it was the students that were were pushing it out within the college, the campuses, and it was part of the student org, and students were like engaged in it. So
Sense.
This way.
So on Mike's hackathon thing,
Mhm.
I think there's a couple of ways that are like really simple solutions that you can sort of bring value in terms of like, I know I've gone to some conferences and it's like, oh, if you do something in particular, you get the list of everybody who's going. And so if you can like get people to sign up with you, just to say I'm going, like I'm not necessarily looking for, but then it's like, oh, then I can look and see, is there anybody I know? Is there anybody from my university? And it's a way for people to connect to each other, not necessarily like I need to form a team, but just to have, it's just a way to get people like sort of in the door. And bring them like really small value, so then they see, oh, maybe at this place I want to do something I want to stay connected to. One of my questions though is, how is this really different from like founder matching? Like there's a lot, like YC has, but like a lot of places do founder matching, and I know this is more student focused, but like how is it different from those?
Hold that thought. I think that's a good question.
Okay.
It's something we should answer. Let's see what feedback we can continue
Sure.
to provide, but I would have that conversation afterwards. Yeah, go ahead. I think.
Hi, so just curious, I saw that you have a few returning people.
Yes.
I
Six.
really figured, like, you should give them, like, figured out why would they come back versus the ones that just subscribe, that didn't come back.
Not yet. I don't want to scare them off. But
Good. Nothing to lose. Discovery.
Versus understanding why, it's not like,
Yeah.
Just try to sell it again, it's understanding why they didn't come back, or why they did, and double down on figuring out that trait to think that day. And second question that I had is, I mean, I hear a lot of questions about hackathon, but is your company really focused on the broad understanding of having team formation, no matter what kind of group it is?
can you clarify what you mean by?
So like bringing people into your environment, whether it's hackathon, whether it's other environments, is it just like hackathons, or just different types of events, or is it any events?
Any event.
Okay, then in that case, like.
Any event that requires some people to like collaborate together.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I guess it's the result or the success of your company, the good performance and the good bring together of a team outside of the event as well.
Yes.
Okay, then in that case, I guess. Really I would, suggest really focused on showing people the success outside of those groups. To market what could happen inside that don't know about you. And I would suggest even like leveraging social media. So like because people want to see the success. They don't know you yet, they don't trust you yet. So the trust is aligned with what you can bring value to show that it's not just a blog post, it's interviewing people who had success with you to showcase that you are someone to be trusted. And of course, social media can go anywhere. And even a bad social media post still brings attention because at that point you're in the game of attention, not just about stuff.
Makes sense.
Robert.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have two more, so, okay.
Yeah, this is interesting. I guess my question has to do with like your utility outside of having a network, right? Because you're a network oriented, like you have a network oriented kind of growth model fundamentally. But as you said, you have a cold start problem, and I'm guessing you don't have like mountains of cash to just burn to get, massive amount of users, right? So fundamentally, any type of problem, you first of all have a supply issue, right? Like people aren't going to go unless there are projects happening. And so if I'm a project creator like right now who is looking in this in comparison to all the other ways in which I could either engage and get new users, what utility does PeerCon provide to me to actually want to go and use the platform to like help me manage an event, help me organize something, do anything in that realm? And you mentioned like Discord, right? For example, a lot of young people are on that platform, right? And so if I just go in these spaces, like a university space, for example, you're only dealing with like, let's say 100 to like a small, in grand scheme of things, amount of people who could possibly be in that realm. If you're doing an open kind of invitation for people to join, what would be the distinction or like what would be the distinction for me as a project creator between going on PeerCon versus like just going to like the group chat and just being like, hey, does anyone have this, that, or the third? Can you go and like talk to me? Like, what do you provide beyond?
So for the first project for the person who is joining, that's going to be hard because you're going to basically just use of the skills that I have. This is what I'm open to looking at when you create a profile. So that initial process might be similar for a Discord or Slack channel as well as PeerCon. But then once you have some project done, then it'll be like, oh, this person already worked on something similar. So there's additional credibility, and then you have the deadliness, obviously, where you can go scroll and check. So the more you do more projects on PeerCon, the more it becomes easier for someone to verify, oh, so this is what they've been doing. I like it.
Slight question, just follow up on that. So, for example, when many people go, like these types of projects, for example, they may like at the start have like no one to work with, like, oh, I need these people, etc., but I just can't find them. Then they find those people, and then they, now they just have those people, right? So how do you like in the utility aspect, is there anything that you're considering or have currently to like stop people from just going off platform and just continuing on with these new people that they found?
How about this? Take that as a suggestion to make sure that as you grow, you're thinking of ways to keep them on the platform.
Yes.
Next, last question. Oh, did you have? We got time for one. Pick one.
Just question, you talked about and class projects you want to be able to base your platform. What kind of projects you want to focus on and collaborate with people?
Is that a question?
What type of projects?
So I was thinking case competitions and hackathons primarily because those were my areas of interest, and I have both that idea background. I have supply chain strategy as well as product adjacent background. And I'm very MBA adjacent. My program is called an engineer's MBA. So these two are the areas that I see relevant for any engineering or STEM master topic right now. So my primary focus is on case competitions and hackathons.
Yeah, so the main of the projects are competitions or the main is different.
I guess it's this category of cases.
Oh, cases.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
we're gonna wrap it up. I wanted to leave you with a couple of things. I think because you have this dual master's degree pursuit and you're already telling us about your focus on cases, I think you're sort of answering question one for yourself, and it probably is the kind of where the people are for those. For the audience, when you're developing a two-sided marketplace, it's always a kind of a chicken and egg problem because you're trying to show value to one side and simultaneously to the other. And the reality is you sort of have to pick one in the beginning. And I think for you, the answer is probably the cases. It's probably a list of if you can show here is where stuff is and where you should be. And it's not just the where appear, I was like for PeerCon logo. It's not just getting people in a room, but it's where the people already are. That's something that you can generate value right away. You can generate branding right away by just aggregating events, cases, things, and being somebody who is a leader in the space of what to do and where to go. That's a tough thing especially if you're finding undergrad demand. There's even less, there's like we have an attention issue. We're overstimulated at that age and place in our scholastic career. So having this consolidated event schedule or thing, that is a great way. Simultaneously, if you can start generating content around what makes great teams and how teams work together and how teams do get organized and how teams do find one another, and you start establishing yourself as an expert of matching and cooperation and organizational behavior, that'll start to, people will come to the events. Oh, how'd you hear about this thing? Oh, I found it on PeerCon. And then people are like, well, what is PeerCon? And they start finding PeerCons as authority on how teams pair and how teams match and how teams function and how teams succeed. It's a grind, but that might be a way to get started to answer some of your questions. Let's give a round of applause. Okay, before we call Vamsi up, I just wanted to ask if you guys could register. So for you new timers, QR code, 3 or 4 questions or email to your name. It just says, I was here, I attended. Not gonna spam here, not gonna say anything. Please come in and let us know. It's a nonprofit. They need these numbers. They need to say, look, we're doing great things. We're building community. So please take out your smartphone. Let us know you were here. And then I'll queue up the presentation for Vamsi. And we'll just give you a second. While we scan and register any events coming up in the week, free events for startups and small businesses. No, Everett's always got a Web3 CJ would have the same.
There's a tech walk.
There's a tech walk.
May 17th.
May 17th.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a crossover tech walk and public mics. It's a walk of shame and pain. So.
Shame and pain. That's awesome. Tech walk Chicago. That's great. Any other events coming up? Anybody wants to talk about? May 7th.
Oh, it's
Scale up.
applicable. Founders and funders on Thursday. It's for VCs and anyone with a startup generating around like 100K ARR. So founders and funders.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Vamsi, if you're ready, we're ready. Can we give a standing ovation and round of applause for Vamsi? Okay. Stand by. Down.
I feel nervous for tenure. Last time I was here, I was one of the audience. Right now I can feel how it feels like, pitching in front of these very big people.
Anyway, microphone.
Great. Thank you.
So speak up
It's-
because
it's
that's
for-
the
yeah, microphones for the streaming. There's no speakers here, so you gotta project your voice. So you
I too. Is it audible now?
Yes.
Hi guys, my name is Vamsi. I am founder of Salrow. The name itself has an abbreviation. Save a life by right of way. And I'm also a tech guy, former HCL tech and post diagnostics employee. In my daily life, I used to find bugs in a system. But one day, one instance changed me, which made me standing right here I am. I'm also 1871 member too. Just want to let you know. I think few people are there.
So this is our website, QR code, if you wanna try this, or else you can directly type salrow.com. So before that, let me tell that particular incident. I was driving my Ferrari. Don't worry that it's not a Ferrari. My car is Honda Elantra. I call it as Ferrari. So when I was driving to my university, I heard the silence of ambulance and fire trucks. It seems like, okay, 2, 3 blocks away. I'm not gonna, block their way. And suddenly within a fraction of seconds, he just passes me. And I'm having less than 2 seconds to react. If I had turned my vehicle right side before 2 seconds, I would end up with an accident. Another ambulance would come, pick this ambulance up for me. So it's not because I don't want to give right off, because I'm completely not aware from which way it is coming from. Most of these accidents are happening at the time of intersections. Because likewise, how we stop at the stop signal and wait for people to see whoever comes first, they will go first. They have to wait for, make sure there is no accident happening. Then only they are going to move forward. Do you guys believe every 8 minutes ambulance crashes happening? Not because they are not professional divers. Not because we don't want to give the right of it. Because it's completely unaware of, civilian drivers are not aware from which way it is coming. Only thing, and until it's too late, we see or hear the ambulance, it is right in front of us. 6,500 ambulance crashes are happening, only ambulances per year, for which 200 lives at stake. And this is a 65 billion market which no one is talking about. And people are having less than 2 seconds. And interesting part is when you stop at the red signal, if you hear the signs, you are trying to willing to give right of way, but you're not sure what happens if it turns green. You cannot move. If you don't move, people behind you will honk you. If you try to move, you may block the ambulances or fire truck on the same path, right? So it's in a complete dilemma. I was in the same situation once. That's how I got an idea. Sorry. To do something. What I can do. I mean, I completed a master's graduation student, but before that, I have having 8 years of experience with the tech field. So I integrated everything. Right now, we are in the age of AI. The sirens are 150 years past. We have to change it. We have to save our peer lives. But who are the victims? Not only ambulance drivers or civilian drivers, even the passengers who are sitting beside them. Just imagine. Reaching 1 minute early for an ambulance can save 2,000 lives per year. But for fire trucks, it is 600 lives. That's why we got Salrow, which is save a life by right of way. With the idea converting into a name, which has an abbreviation. So it's an AI-powered mobile app which sends real-time alerts to your smartphone directly. There will be 2 different apps, one for the emergency vehicle drivers, one for the civilian drivers. For the civilian drivers, you need to install them, give only 3 permissions: notification, location, display over other apps. That's it. You no need to enter your demographic information. First name, last name, email ID, phone number, no need. We're not going to save any type of your data. Even if you close the app, still you will get the alert messages with saying, emergency vehicle is on your way. Please give right of way. Just to let you know, you should not collide with the ambulances or fire trucks during the emergency services. So it doesn't require any hardware. It doesn't require any, even if you put your phone in do not disturb mode, it works. Even if you lock your screen, it works. Where other competitors like Waze and Blue Light Maps, they won't work. Someone has to witness the accident and they has to report in their app. And if you want to receive that alert, you need to open using the particular app. Either it could be Google Maps or Waze. Then only you will receive the alert. This Salrow overrides all those things. So as I said, For civilian drives especially, it is completely free. You can install it, give the permission, just close it. Don't worry about it. Whenever any emergency vehicle starts with the location, it will listen automatically. So who will be the customers? AMS agencies, EMS, or the fire trucks, or the government, federal people planning to charge 2,400 to 8,400 depends upon the city, state, and how many fleet vehicles they are going to use. So the partnership, eventually we will partner with the Google Maps and Apple Maps so that it will, by default, when you get a version update or system update to your phone, you will get the results. So within 5 steps, I got the idea. I filed a patent. Interested parties have filed a patent with using AI cloud code with only $65 without any attorney. And right now I'm in a stage where I'm building the actual MVP. I'm not 100% technical coder, but I'm using these, taking the leverage of AI. So main challenges. I'm a solo founder. We building everything from the scratch. And the prototype, I will be giving you a QR code where you can see how the prototype works. And I'm having, file a patent. As I said, what I have 1 year time to file non-provisional patent to get full security of my product. And I'm raising 500K for the hardest round to get into real people, take the city contracts. So 1 billion asked for me. If you know anyone in like fire chief, fire department, or EMS, like superior, everyone who can, push this one to next level, please introduce us. If you know any founders, like investors, VCs, who are willing to invest in this type of product, please introduce us in this community. Or if you know someone who has an ability to experience of developing a mobile application with AI expertise, I'm looking for a technical co-founder.
Yep. Awesome. Go up one. Comments, questions? Take it away, calling people.
Yeah. Question. I don't quite understand what is the AI for exactly. So you have I guess you're tracking the ambulance, and you have a mobile app, or you're building a mobile app to develop, to show people where an ambulance is coming from. I don't see where's the AI in this.
So in a two-way traffic, not every person need to get the alert. Only people who are going in one way, in which same ambulance is going, those people need to get an alert. But the people who are going opposite, they don't need to get an alert. So we are using road topology technology using AI, which depends upon which way they are going. If it is a single way, if it is a two-way, depends upon that AI will changes the location. And it depends upon, instead of sending 100 people alert, based on the road topology, it will decrease to 50 people, which is necessary. For the other 50 people, it may not necessary.
That's me on the back. See you go.
Why is it only one diagnosis? If you think of the situation that Chicago area where the girls are quite narrow, we'll go on the other side of the road from. So I'm curious what you think for what we want direction.
Great question. You guys should talk afterwards. And anybody with their hands up, does it address one of the points? Because you can tell. How do you help? CJ, let's help them.
There's a woman named Cecilia that comes here almost every day. She works with the city. I guarantee you she knows someone in Chicago.
We'll get you guys. I'm sure. CJ, thank you. Call on them.
This is to challenge the idea of how do you combat app fatigue for someone like the general public that can download and get that other app.
So we are trying to, once we get on to the contract with the cities people, the government, they will be having their own marketing, and we will also try our marketing. And once we get an integration application with the Apple and Google Maps, which you already have installed when you're having a phone, once you get an version update or system update, it will be automatically installed in your phone.
So I know a few people who are currently going through like fire department training. In the goal is to become a firefighter and get a job eventually. I would recommend, unless you already have contacts in the Chicago Fire Department, maybe go to smaller towns like around Chicago that have smaller systems that you might be able to get higher up more quickly. And have like a more of a proof of concept, like prototyping this in Chicago is going to be a hell of a task, right? If you can go to like a suburb that has fewer incidents and like I know that's like delaying your big impact thing, but having smaller impact test and make sure that it works and doing all of that in one of the smaller towns around Chicago, I think might be valuable and you might be able to talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so that's not really good. This lot I said that like the siren was invented like 100 years ago. So is was you going trying to get rid of the sirens because I would love that.
Which is impossible. That is a solo decision which I cannot take. Like it depends upon the government. I'm trying to amplify the situation to let people know. Even you may not be able to hear the silence, but if receiving an alert saying that something is coming up your way, you must be giving right off, right? Just amplifying the situation.
Couple more questions.
I think you made a great point in the presentation about 150 years. I was actually expecting a little bit more like imagery of maybe an old person like having trouble to drive and hear, or like an ambulance crashing. My mom works with a lot of older people, so I think putting that imagery up there, you might want to approach like senior housing and retirement housing homes, because they're the worst drivers, and this is probably super applicable for them.
Yeah.
But just a thought to get more backing as you get back from public departments, want to have both sides there.
So this alert is continuous with visual and both in audio. If it is something
That'd be
we need
amazing.
to with both of them, then we need to.
Is it multi-language or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, pick last one.
I think your customers are should be the people that manufacture it, not the individual. Like, more or less, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
You got time for one more. Go ahead. Pick somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just wonder in terms of your data, like what types of ambulance involved crashes there were, like, are they thinking like left side versus sideways, pedestrian versus car, and then also in terms of like signaling, is it to amplify a smartphone or like start a car types of vehicle type of system?
So right now in suburbs, if anyone can see, there is a kind of light which has been attached to the traffic. When ambulance or emergency vehicles come nearby, will start blinking. Irrespective of it is green light or red light, you need to stop and give to the that particular signal. So earlier we thought of having one device with a plus symbol, which directly show you from which way it is coming and which way it's going. But it requires hardware and the money. So where I cannot, being in master students, I cannot do that much. So what I have in my leverage is using of an app or using of AI. So soon, yeah, definitely will take that one. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hold on. It's a lot of stress.
So this is the secret.
Very short.
That's
Okay.
Okay, it's 10:01. You guys are welcome to stay. It's one of the six little announcements. It's interesting that the second presenter came up and said one of the problems they're having is how to coordinate with other co-founders and other people to work with. So I've heard that from PeerCon, and somebody's trying to create a solution for that. So this is kind of one of the things that makes YMC kind of fun, and to get these two presenters, they hadn't met one another, but they come and they talk about a business or a problem, and there is a lot of overlap. It's kind of cool. Again, you guys are welcome to stay. We'll make some more coffee. You can use the room, and you guys can co-work. Hope you come back next week and you have a very good week. If we can have the presenters come up, the organizers come up, we're going to take a few pictures. But stick around and meet some people.
Hey, what's up? Good to see ya. What?
I'll take the photo.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me see how to.